Hello, my name's Tim B. Green, and I'm the Successful Loser. So today I'm going to talk about something interesting. Get here and find it. You might notice that I'm kind of dressed casually. Well, yeah, that's right. Casual is absolutely the case. Thermal underwear, Uniqlo underwear, house coat. Well, why? Because I'm in my apartment. This is where I do most of my recording, and I want to keep this real because there's just way too much bullshit out there. Okay, so today we're going to talk about, and I hope this works. It says memento mori or memento mori. I don't know, I don't speak Latin, but it means don't forget death, or remember death, or remember you will die. Quick and dirty history, apparently a Roman general used to have somebody follow him around to remind him and keep his humility up by telling him that, reminding him he would die every time he was being cheered on or praised by Roman citizens for his victory. So to keep himself grounded. In other words, not only should you behave in a way that if you died in the next 10 seconds, but tomorrow or very soon, that you would feel like you left some kind of positive legacy. Okay, so here's the deal. Since you and I, let's try that again, you and I are but mere mortals, we should always keep this in mind. I'm 50 years old, and I don't really feel much different than a 20 or 25-year-old, other than I'm happier with my life because I've refined my thinking and other things to make it that way. So those of you who are younger than me, get your shit together as soon as you can. You are going to die. I don't care how special you are. There's not a human alive who doesn't die. It's close to New Year's. Now, we always talk about New Year's resolutions. Here's the good and the bad. Quit making excuses, mostly. But New Year's is a great time to come up with an excuse to do something better than you did it last year. And I believe in that. But what I don't believe in is making your New Year's resolution the only time that you do that so that you fall off the wagon, usually within a month anyway. You can make a New Year's resolution every day. And I think you probably should. Okay, so this is about New Year's resolutions. They're good because you look at your life, you reflect on it, and you decide something you'd like to do better, something you aspire to. Now you get to get off your ass and do it. If you don't, you're just talking shit. Okay, secondly, they're bad because why are you waiting till January anything? Why are you waiting to any one given day? Remember, you could leave this life right now. By the way, if you care, I got this coin on a website called The Daily Stoic, but it's really cool, as you will see in the background. It essentially is a tangible reminder that you're mortal, and the reason I think this is actually a very positive thing is it reminds you to get off your ass, to take action now. And how often should you take action? About as often as you wake up. In other words, yeah, act on what you really want to do in your life every day, immediately, as much as you can. Obviously, you have to make a living. I'm the same way. I have to make a living too. But as much as you can and as often as you can, ideally daily, and cut the shit, you know, subtract the 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day of TV that you watch and do something useful with that. I'm guilty of wasting a lot of time doing things like watching TV and other things that aren't productive. But if you're going to do that, it's not really so much wrong, but own it. It's like when you're eating that cheesecake, say, yeah, I'm cheating. I'm eating more calories today than I should. Just take responsibility for it. And there's nothing to stop you from getting back on the wagon, whatever you want to call it. That's not a big deal. It's not hard to do. You do it every Monday morning when you go back to your job or whatever your first day of your work week is. Mainly, that's what I wanted to talk about, is to remind you that you're going to die, you're mortal. And that's good news because it's like, act now on that dream. At 50, I'm not where I want to be. And that pisses me off. And I'm honestly jealous of people who have already achieved things by their 20s or 30s or even 50s. But the main thing is, there's nothing I can do about what hasn't happened. All I can do is act in the moment, act now to achieve what I want in the future. So that's what this is about. A year is still a year. Your year and my year are exactly the same. But it may take 10 years or 20 years for you to succeed at what you want, especially if what you want is big in some way. So what I'm saying is, you're going to die. Act now. Don't just make plans. Plans are fine, but unless you're executing them, you're just talking shit. I also sort of want to give a shout out, a thank you to Gary Vee, because I just watched a video of his, and a few of his videos refer to the "you're going to die." So I sort of want to give credit where credit is due, but it's the same thing. It's about keep humility, act in a way where you can live with the man or the woman in the glass, the person looking back at you. Act today and now and as often as possible like a person, whereas if you died right now, you'd be satisfied with the behavior you just engaged in. And if you're not, to quote Billy Joel, because he's a great bard and I'm old enough to know who he is, either way, it's okay, you wake up with yourself. So no matter what you do, you have to live with your own actions. And an action you will never be able to live down in your future, in your old age, or if you do the death of all success, just give up and settle. You can always get another regular shit job with a boss or with a company who doesn't care about you and has no interest in seeing that your future or your life gets better, because that's not what they're there for. They're there to make profit. If, on the other hand, you're acting on something like I am, and it's frustrating for me because I have been working hard for 10 years at licensing my products and I'm not there. Probably the main pivotal thing that prevents me from giving up is I only know one way, 100% guarantee of how I can fail. I may spend the rest of my life striving for this success and never achieving it. I only know one thing about that. If I quit is the only way I can guarantee 100% that I fail, because quitting is failing, right? If you have something you really want to do and it means something to you, do it on the side. Do it as a fucking hobby. It really doesn't matter. But when you stop doing that which is meaningful to you, that which is your dream, to settle for an average, everyday, secure job, I can tell you from repeated layoffs from massive companies over my career that there is no such thing as job security. The company you work for today might be gone tomorrow or in 6 months. I used to work for a big company, and suddenly, overnight, there's a big meeting at the plant. We were selling a bunch of valves to the USSR, and the USSR failed. The communism and the USSR collapsed, and that was the end of our contract. And overnight, it was all gone, and the entire plant was shut down. I was overjoyed. I hated the job. It wasn't that the job was terrible. It's just, to me, it wasn't meaningful, and it wasn't what I wanted to do. This happened again many years later. I was working for another company, a big printing company, and I was one of the 4 who they decided was not going to stay. Again, I was honestly delighted because we were printing junk mail. It meant nothing to me. It was a big, secure company, but suddenly a job, 50% of us had to go, and we were some of the highest paid employees in the production end of the entire company. Takes nothing. So your good, secure job is a joke and an illusion. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a good job like that. If that makes you happy, you should. If it makes you happy, it's a great job. But at any point in your life, you can start, if you've quit, which remember is 100% failure. You can always start again. The only thing that is actually guaranteed failure is giving up. A friend of mine who was a martial arts teacher, he used to say to his students, if you're not dead, if you're still conscious and breathing, the fight isn't over. The same is true here. The clock is running down. In the time I've made this video, that's time I will never get back. And in the case of this, I hope it's a real investment. You're gonna die. Get off your ass and act on your dreams. My name is Tim B. Green, and I'm the Successful Loser. Bye for now.